This one is called What is the Illusion of Choice? And it's by Arlen Kunze. Um, before I go into this, I want to talk about the illusion of choice because a lot of us, that's me included at times, probably more than none, believe that I have like a choice in the matter in certain things. And in a lot of things we do have the choice in the matter. Go in the store, you have a choice to purchase something. You can purchase it, you don't have to. You could buy it or you can steal it, you know, drive it down the road. A car pulls up beside you, got a little bit of road rage. You can act off of it or you can chill out. Anyway, we have choices that we can make all the time, but I want to talk about the illusion of choice. The reason I want to talk about the illusion of choice is because I realized back in 2008, the last time I actually voted was for the 2008. I voted for Obama, and then when he got in office, you know, I actually felt pretty good. But then when the crisis fell and everything, we went basically was bankrupt, and he borrowed the fiat currency from the Federal Reserve. That'll be another topic we'll talk about one day, fiat currency. But he borrowed money from the Federal Reserve and trillions of dollars. I think it was like 17 trillion. I could be wrong, but he borrowed a lot of money from them that the American citizen has to pay back with interest. That's crazy. But anyway, borrowed the money from him, and he gave the money to banks, and banks were the ones that caused us to be in broke in the first place. Or one of the reasons he gave the $17 trillion to the banks when he could have I felt that he could have just distributed it to the people. You know what I'm saying? To the working people. Anyway, that right there showed me that we were told one thing, but there was a whole different thing being done. That showed me that you had uh, puppets, and I deemed Obama and all presidents, popes, prime ministers, governors, people in positions of power. I believe all of those people are puppets. You know what I'm saying? And I think that I think that there are a group of people that control them that we'll call the puppet masters. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, and I think that they give us. So I think that if we get like four Democrats, four Republicans, and we get to vote which Democrat we want to run for president, which Republican we want to run for president, out of the four and four, it doesn't matter which one we vote for because each one is a puppet for that group of people who we'll call the puppet masters. You know what I'm saying? So I say that, and I really do believe that. But anyway, so let's dive into this. This is called "What is the Illusion of Choice?" Let's see. I haven't read this yet, so I'm reading it as we go. So let's check it out. All right. The illusion of choice is a cognitive bias that causes people to believe they have more control over their lives than they actually do. Before I keep going, I want to see what cognitive bias is. Let's see what that is. How cognitive biases influence the way you think and act. That's interesting. I want to check that out too. But let's go back to where we was at. Now, I want to look up cognitive bias. So, let's see. Let's look up cognitive bias. Cognitive bias definition. Let's see what that means. Cognitive biases are unconscious, systematic errors in thinking that deviate from rationality, causing individuals to interpret information and make decisions based on subjective reality rather than objective reality. That is interesting. So, cognitive biases are unconscious, systematic errors in thinking that deviate from rationality, causing individuals to interpret information and make decisions based on subjective reality rather than objective reality, originating from mental shortcuts. Okay, let me stop that. Let's get back to the nitty gritty. So the illusion of choice is a cognitive bias that causes people to believe they have more control over their lives than they actually do. This sense of having control can help people feel happier and more autonomous, 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 autonomous. But it can also give people a false sense of hope and cause them to take the blame from things they have no power over. Hmm. The illusion of choice is often used in advertising and marketing to make people feel they are in control of their purchase decisions. Wow. The illusion of choice is a false sense of control. A false sense of control. Like we believe that the president is in control of the country. That's a false sense of control. If you ask me, I believe that he's a puppet for the puppet masters. Also, could be wrong, but that's it's my belief. The illusion of choice is a false sense of control that can lead to suboptimal decision making. What is suboptimal decision making? The psychology of decision making strategies. Man, I gotta read that. You have to make decisions both large and small through every single day of your life. We gotta read that. I'm not gonna bother right now. We'll get back to the nitty gritty at a glance. The illusion of choice. The illusion of choice causes people to feel that they have a wide range of choices when in reality, their choices are limited or predetermined. This belief can contribute to a false sense of control. It can help people feel more empowered and autonomous, but but it can also be used to manipulate people to benefit those presenting the choices. Boy, that ain't no lie. Choices can be presented in a way that guides people to a particular choice without them realizing the underlying influence that are actually guiding their decisions. Man, that is true. Let's close that ad. So, history of the illusion of choice. The illusion of choice is a relatively new concept. The term was first alluded to by American philosopher and psychologist William James in his lecture, The Will to Believe. The Will to Believe, first published in 1896 after slavery. Interesting. In the essay, James argues that choices can be forced or avoidable, and that every dilemma based on a complete logical disjunction with no possibility or not choosing is an option of this forced kind. I apologize. I butchered that little. Oh, excuse me. I butchered that. I mean, I butchered it so bad, I almost put myself to sleep reading that. Let's go over with that one. The illusion of choice is a relatively new concept. The term was first alluded to by American philosopher and psychologist William James in his lecture, The Will to Believe, first published in 1896. In the essay, James argues that choices can be forced or avoidable, and that every dilemma based on a complete logical disjunction with no possibility of not choosing is an option of this forced kind. That was a lot better. The illusion of choice has since been the illusion of choice has since also been alluded to in the field of psychology. In a seminal paper published in 2000, psychologist Gina Iyengar and Mark Lepper found that people are more likely to purchase products when they are given fewer choices. We must raise our voices and the torches. Let me quit. All right. Furthermore, the researchers also found that people were more satisfied with their purchases if they had been given fewer choices. This finds this finding has come to be known as paradox of choice. Okay, so you got the illusion of choice and you got the paradox of choice. I need to write that down. These are some stuff. This is some stuff that we're gonna have to go over. Sorry, y'all. Give me just a second. I want to take that out. Paradox of choice. Yep. All right. Now look, how the illusion of choice affects decisions. Let's just see how the illusion of choice affects decisions. The illusion of choice can help people feel more empowered, but it often causes problems when it comes to making decisions. That's no lie. There are a few signs that you may be experiencing problematic decision making related to the illusion of choice. You feel like you have to make the perfect decision. You agonize over every decision, big or small. You feel like you have an unlimited number of options. You feel paralyzed by your choices. You frequently second guess your decision. I remember I used to do that when I used to dibble and dabble in the street. The people that I would dibble and dabble with, I would, I called myself trying to make a little money on the streets. Wasn't any good at it, but when I did do it, I used to give them basically the illusion of choice. Everything would like be the same, but I would let you pick the one you wanted. It didn't even matter. It all was the same, you know, but it was the illusion of choice. They would sometimes take 15 minutes to pick. I mean, they was, man, that's how they would be. But anyway, types of illusion of choice. There are two main types of the illusion of choice: false sense of control. The false sense of control. Let me write that down. I want to check that out too. False sense of control. What about false sense of control? The false sense of control type is when people believe they have more control over their lives than they actually do. This can lead to suboptimal decision making, as people may choose options not in their best interest. Man, I've done that so many times. At the club drunk, I got to chose over three or four chicks in there. They all, I mean, time did their body wrong. Actually, it wasn't time. It was them over time eating what they wanted to eat, not going to the gym, just poor decision making, did their body wrong. And so I would have, those would be my options. And my false sense of control would make me pick. None of them were good options, but I would still pick one. And the next morning I wake up, what the hell was wrong with me? I know then. I hope I used the rubber. Anyway, let me keep going. Okay, so you got paradox of choice. The paradox of choice type is when people are given too many choices, and this leads to them feeling less satisfied when they're with their decision. This often happens when people are bombarded with choices and cannot narrow down their options. I ain't never been in that predicament. Okay, does choice lead to the illusion of control? I've never used that word illusion in so many different, you know, things like that's just, like that's anyway. Some previous evidence indicate that having choices makes people feel they can exert control by making the right choice, even when the outcomes for each choice are identical. However, that's like I was telling y'all when I would give them the illusion of choice. They always the same, so it didn't matter. But um, even when the outcome for each choice is identical, it's crazy. However, some researchers suggest that having choices does not create an illusion of control. Instead, it reflects a previously existing incorrect belief about their options. The illusion of choice, the illusion of options, pretty much. Okay, let's keep going. Practical uses of the illusion of choice. The illusion of choice is often used in advertising and marketing to make people feel like they are in control of their purchase decisions. The same technique may be applied in political campaigns to make voters feel more confident in their choice on who to vote for. I just told y'all that it don't even matter who you vote for, Democrat or Republican. So it's a left and a right wing. There are two wings on the same bird. They're tires that are put on the same car that's being driven by the elite. We'll just say that secret group of puppets who are most likely controlled by fallen angels. You know, it's another topic we need to talk about. In reality, the illusion of choice is a false sense of control that can lead to making decisions based on incomplete information. I don't know why didn't say biased information or flat out lies. Or even if it's truth, you don't got an option. The option that you got is it's really just a figment of your imagination because though they're so they get the candidates that we choose. These candidates most likely they were born and raised and reared in a certain way of thinking. For the ones that weren't born, raised, and reared in a certain way of thinking, they've been compromised also, meaning they probably got video footage of them in uncompromised in compromised positions, you know, whether they're giving or taking, if you understand what I'm saying, whether they're with a an adult or the opposite of an adult. I get you know what I'm saying, you know, whether it be from monetary, they took some money, they got, so many different things can make those people not be who they portray to be on the screen. And remember this, um, those people who we vote for, they bang in front of the camera. They bang in front of us, you know what I'm saying? They bang like Bloods and Crips in the early 90s. They bang in front of the camera, talk bad about each other, talking about your mama, your wife, your kids. I mean, they talk bad about each other. But behind closed doors, man, they buddying up, they having drink, they sharing them whores. And they working towards the same agenda because they both work for that puppet master. They the puppets, remember, and they work for that puppet master. So let's keep going. Companies that often companies that offer free trials. The illusion of choice can also be used to manipulate people into making decisions. For example, a company may offer a free trial that automatically enrolls the customer in a subscription if they do not cancel within the pre-trial period. Man, I bought some toothpaste that was supposed to like make the gums strong, make the teeth strong and just do wonders for your mouth. So I paid for it. It I didn't I still got 90% of it in my bathroom. Don't know why I ain't threw it away yet. But I'm just telling y'all about this story because about a month later, they sent me an email, a receipt saying we're sending you a new. We hope you liked it. We're sending you. We charged you such and such amount of money, and we're sending your new toothpaste to you. I'm like, I didn't order no more toothpaste, and I damn sure didn't sign a contract. So we gotta start reading the fine print of these contracts too. That's something else we got to talk about. The fine print of these contracts, man, because they be robbing us. Right in fine print of contracts. RACTS. Yep, they be robbing us. My truck I got, that the company I bought it from, robbing me blind. But anyway, let's see. The illusion of choice can have a significant impact on people's lives. It can lead to poor decision making as well as feelings of stress and frustration. That's true. The illusion of choice can also be used to manipulate people into making decisions that are not in their best interest. For example, a company may use an email marketing campaign to pressure people into buying a product. The campaign may offer a limited time only discount that expires soon, or it may show a countdown timer that creates a sense of urgency. Yep, I seen that. So I won, not today, but like yesterday. This may cause a consumer to purchase an item they don't even need, or to pay more for an item that they would if they had more time to make a decision. So let me read that over again. I butchered it. This may cause a consumer to purchase an item they do not need, or to pay more for an item than they would if they had more time to make the correct decision. Let's go over some examples of the illusion of choice. Let's take a look at some examples of the illusion of choice. I just said that, player. I got a cane Corso. He over there laying on his back, sleep on my carpet. Laying on his back. Mm. Double bind. Double bind. The illusion of choice can be created by a double bind in psychology. A double bind, first described by Bateson in 1956, is when someone receives a contradictory message. A contradictory message. For example, someone may tell you, be more spontaneous. However, if you choose to be more spontaneous, it's only because you are a follower It's only because you are following an order, which by definition isn't spontaneous. True. The double bind creates an illusion of choice because it feels as though whatever decision you make is wrong. False dilemma. The illusion of choice can also be created by a false dichotomy or false dilemma. A false dichotomy is when someone presents two options as if they are the only possibility. If the only possibility, when in reality there are other options. They don't want to know about them other options, but they out there. For example, you may be told the familiar phrase, "You're either what? You're either with us or against us." This create this creates an illusion of choice because it makes it seem like there are only two options when there are really many more. Yep, I got into it a lot about that right there. Like they would be this particular person I know, I ain't gonna say the name, but this particular person was like, hey man, you act like you the enemy. If you're not with me, then you the enemy. When it ain't even like that. No, I just have a different way of thinking about this situation. You know what I'm saying? I'm not running in no burning building behind somebody. But anyway, let's keep. It depends on the situation. So let me clarify that. I will run in a burning building, but it still depends on the situation. You know what's really going on. You know, I choose not to follow the majority. You know what I'm saying? I'm not running in no burning building for some stupid stuff. You know what I'm saying? What little illusion that we live in, let's try to keep as much of what we got. You know what I'm saying? I got a cousin, he's locked up right now. So let me back it up. Um I'm not gonna even talk about that. But what I will say is we have to make sound decisions on what we do. Anyway, let's go to illusion of choice and capitalism. Let's see what this talking about. The illusion of choice is sometimes used by businesses and corporations to exploit consumers. It should be a crime for that. But I guess they're not making you do it. In a capitalist system, businesses and corporations are motivated by profit and will employ a variety of methods to increase their profits. They already got all the money, but won't don't want us to have nothing. They really don't want the middle class here, it seems like. They just only want the very wealthy, which is few, and they want the poor, the poorest of the poor, the ones scraping from the bottom of the barrel. This can include creating the illusion of choice to make people believe that they have more control over their purchase decisions than they actually do. The illusion of choice is also used to keep people from challenging the status quo. If people believe they have choice, then they are less likely to question the system that gives them the choices. Like we don't question the president. We don't question the Nike Corporation. We don't I mean spending $500 for a pair of Jordans, $1,000. We spending $150 for a pair of pants. I was gonna pay these people to build me a fence for my dog, and not even much of a fence, not around my whole yard, just around from the back of the side of the house. So there's a brick wall on the side of my house. So I just wanted to go from my house to the brick wall, from the back, touching my house to the brick wall, and then on the front touching my house. 15, almost $1,600 for not that much wood. That is crazy to me. But the illusion of choice. Who else you gonna get to do it? We the only company around here, player. You know what I'm saying? But anyhow, this can include creating the illusion of choice to make people believe that they have more control over their purchase decisions than they actually do. The illusion of choice is also used to keep people from challenging the status quo. If people believe they have choices, then they are less likely to question the system that gives them the choices. This creates a false sense of freedom and democracy that ultimately benefits the ruling class at the expense of the poor person, the working class. Tips for managing the illusion of choice. Are there any tips for managing the illusion of choice? Only tip I could think of, I'm not reading that yet. I'm just thinking what I could think of. Waking up, you know, because it ain't who you voting for. You can believe that. It ain't who you voting for. That I mean, you got to wake up from that. They are not on our side. And when I say our, I mean the common the common people. They're not on our side. Yeah, like it's like they might not even be humans. Them folks might not even be humans when you really think about it. How they do, like one thing that they do that trips me out is you'll pay taxes. We'll pay taxes. So we paying taxes, and when they get our tax money, they send billions of our tax money to other countries. Now forget the people that live up under bridges. Now forget the common man that works and busts his ass every day, 8 to 12 hours a day, sometimes 16 hours a day. Barely got a roof over their head, holes in the ceiling, cracks. Barely can feed his family. No insulation on the house. They give all that. That's what made me like. I'm like, well, how could he give all that money to the bankers? They already have they already have the money. How can you get that money to them? What, like, why you didn't just split the money with us? Because they not on our side. They can't be on our side. Anyway, tips for managing the illusion of choice. If you find yourself feeling overwhelmed by choices in your life, there are a few things you can do to help manage these feelings. Define your goals. Defining your goals can help you narrow down your choices and make it easier to decide what is best for you. Simplify your options. Simplifying your options can also help you feel less overwhelmed by the choices in front of you. Make a list of pros and cons. I'm not going to read all that. Get input from others because I want to get to the nitty gritty. I want to get to the nitty gritty. I want to get to the nitty gritty of what is the illusion of choice and why do we have the illusion of choice? So, the thing I was telling you earlier, we sit and argue. We claim that we're Democrats. We claim that we're Republicans. We claim that we're liberals. We claim we're for the rich. We claim we're for the poor. We claim we're for this and we're for that. And they put it in our face and they say, do you want, well, here are your options. You need to vote for this person because this person is for this. And this person right over here, you can vote for this one. This person is for this. But really, it don't matter which one we vote for because they both are this one might be for the left wing and that one might be for the right wing, but the both wings are attached to the same bird, which has one brain, and that one brain has an agenda that it doesn't matter which one we vote for. Them people are they are with the program and they're gonna work on they are arguing in front of you. I mean, argue, spitting in each other's face, ready to fight, ready to fight. But neither one of them care about me or you. Man, we got to come together for real, man. We got to wake up for real. In the name of Jesus, we got to wake up, man. Bless us and give us wisdom and understanding for us to wake up. Forgive us for being hard headed. Forgive us for our sins. And bless us with wisdom and understanding to wake up. Because we need to wake up, man, because this war, and I'm talking about the war of good versus evil. I mean, the tactics that the evil use is, I mean, it's utter. I mean, it's utter wickedness. You know, they give us the illusion of choice. And this illusion of choice is something else, man. Like the TV stations, they give us to watch. Like you got this option, this option, this option, but they all showing the same thing. You know, with the churches that we go to, you got this church and this a Baptist church, you got this church, a Pentecostal church, you got this church, Catholic church, you got this church is a they call it a mosque, the Islam, you got the Buddhist thing, you got all these different religions. It don't even matter. I don't think any one of them are teaching us the right thing. The question is why? Why do we have the illusion of choice? Why do we have all these churches? Why do we have these rulers that don't even care about the people? I want y'all to check out something. Let me let y'all check out something right quick. This dude, Dorge, George Carlin. George Carlin, he was an American comedian and social critic, but he passed away. When did he pass away? He was born in 1937. Oh, he died in 2008. This guy right here, he was woke. He was real woke. He was real woke. What was his 7 words? George Carlin 7 words. The words in the order Carlin listed them are shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, and tit. These words were considered highly inappropriate and unsuitable for broadcast on the public airwaves in the United States, whether radio or television. But they show that shit. You can't say certain words, but I mean, the shit that they show is utter ridiculous. Now, George Carlin did something about. Let's see. Here we go. George Carlin on the illusion of safety. That's a good one. I mean, I think it's a good one. Let's check it out. Uh, this is George Carlin, illusion of safety. Let's see what he's talking about. I'm sorry it's showing this commercial. I don't want to show it, but hold on. And another commercial. It's sad. Boy, they showing the commercial. You can't even hit the little button to get away from it. Did you read it? Now you can think he's lying about that. It ain't, man. They're trying to take. It's just like they're trying to take our rights away. That's what I'm thinking. Sorry for interrupting. Let's check him out. Hmm, funny. Yeah, so let me go to one I really want you to see. I want you to see George Carlin, but I want you to see him in him talk about illusion of choice. I'm sorry, I should have did this at first, but here we go. Let's go to George Carlin, The Illusion of Choice. 6 minutes of brilliant commentary from George Carlin. You only have the illusion of choice. George Carlin, Illusion of Choice. Freedom of choice. Let's go right here. That's true. Man, you gotta really listen to what this dude is saying, man. Man, George Carlin, I believe he was on to something, man. Hmm. How do you feel about that? Like, what about the things that the government tell you? Do y'all believe it? Man, let me tell you when I stopped believing what the government said. When I woke up, I was about 21, 22, maybe 23 years old. I was headed to my partner house. My girlfriend at the time, she was taking me there, and I looked in the sky and I saw. At the time, I didn't know what it was called, but it's a chemtrail, a chemical trail. I saw a chemical trail, and I knew that this trail of smoke it got left by a jet. So I wanted to see where the jet was at. So I'm looking, and lo and behold, while I'm looking for the jet, I see a UFO. It was the shape of an upside down acorn with the I say upside down because it was like the big hat part that connects it to the tree was still on it, but it was upside down. It was like silver or chrome, grayish silver chrome. No windows, no propellers. It wasn't. I don't know how high in the air it was, but I saw it really, 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 really well. About 11 o'clock in the daytime, clear blue sky, and it was going in the same direction I was going in. Like I could see it as good as if you walked onto your front porch and just looked up at the street light in the daytime. I saw it just as good as that, if not better. But anyway, when I saw that, it blew my mind because I said, "Oh man, I think our government is not telling us the whole truth. They're keeping things hidden from us." And ever since then, my mind has been open. And I'm not saying I didn't I've committed grave sins and stuff like that. Lord forgive me. But that's when I woke up. So I don't believe everything the government tells me. You know, but let's keep going. I'm gonna give a shout out to McClarver Productions because they did this whatever it is that like right now we can see the flag. We just saw Pinocchio. They did this video. Now that they took George Carlin's stand up and they put this stuff around it. Actually did a wonderful job. Big ups to McClarver Productions for doing this. And I'm just using this for educational purposes, just so y'all know. Educational purposes is the reason why I'm using this, giving my opinion on the illusion of choice. And George Carlin so anyway, let's keep going. Did you hear that? He just said for war. I didn't look at it like that. But for war, he's saying middle class and poor class, young men and women off to die. Middle class and poor class people off to die because the government, most likely, I don't know, I've never been to the military, but this is what I'm believing. They tell us, well, they had weapons of mass destruction or they had this and that, this and that. But really, I think that they go to these places for one, because of when I say gold, I mean, or when I say, I'll just say because these people had something to do with the word God, gold, oil, drugs, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Minerals. Uh, it's crazy, man. These people are wicked. Let's keep going. Did you hear that? These elections are a charade. I wholeheartedly believe that. That is the best example of the illusion of choice. How like you a vote and you get him in office, and he said he's gonna do this and he's gonna do that. As soon as he or she get in office, man, they do a complete 190. Man, that's perfectly written. George Carlin, may the Most High have mercy on your soul, rest in peace. But uh, yeah, a charade for real, for real. Let's keep going. So yeah, George Carlin, that's what's up. Illusion of choice, man. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments. You know, do you believe in the illusion of choice? Tell me some things. If you do believe in the illusion of choice, tell me some. Tell me some things you've been fooled by. You know, thinking you had the choice. Like, I don't even care if it's tissue paper. I don't care if it's dishwashing liquid. I don't even care if it's. It doesn't even matter, man. Like the different gas stations we go to. I mean, it's the illusion of choice is real. Well, anyway, y'all stay safe. Let's pray. Let's pray for wisdom and understanding. Let's pray that we come together and wake up, because I hate to say it, but it seems like the enemy is winning. There's a lot of things we need to talk about, whether it be the mark of the beast, whether it be uh the digital ID, whether it be uh mandatory I don't want to say vaxation. I don't want to say that. I don't want to see it. But anyway, y'all tell me what y'all think and give me some topics you would like for us to talk about and we can do that. Peace and blessings, family. Peace and blessings.